this is Michelle. I hope everyone can hear me okay. And I'm coming to you from my home. I know it's a little dark right now, so I'm going to put on the opposite camera so you can see the table. And we're going to talk about empaths and what an empath is. So this is the table. These are the decks I have. I'm just going to turn up the lights, so hang on just a second. It's a little too dark. And if anyone's here, just let me know that you're here so that I know that this is working okay and that everyone can hear me okay. Natalia, can you hear me? Is it loud enough? And can you see everything okay? All right, great. Okay, so I'm not sure if anyone else is here, so I'm just going to go ahead with and we'll start, okay? So this is an empath support circle and free card pulls for tonight. And I'm Michelle Blanding, and so I'm going to put the camera back on me. Hi, so I'm Michelle, and I am doing the empath circle support tonight for anyone who's interested in knowing what an empath is and a little bit more about what you can do if you are an empath to help yourself. And if anyone would like to chat and give any information or any advice, that would be great. And then I'll do some free card pulls. So if anyone's interested, we're going to do some free card pulls as well. I have some decks. Magical Mermaids and Dolphins from Doreen Virtue. The Butterfly Oracle cards for Life Changes, Doreen Virtue. I also have the Luminous Spirit Tarot deck. I have Past Life Oracle cards, Doreen Virtue, Brian L. Wise, and Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine Angel Tarot. And last but not least, the Morgan Greer Tarot, which also is one of my go-to favorites. I really like this one. It was the one I was trained on. So the Morgan Greer Tarot tonight too. So anybody that would like a free card pull as well, let me know. So we're going to get started right now, and I just want to make sure that you can still hear me and see me okay. And this is my table, and I'm just going to smoke a little bit more. I know you can't see me, Natalia. I took it off me for a minute, so you can see that I'm smudging, and you can see the smoke coming. There's the smoke. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me okay too. So the empath support circle is something that I just decided to do for tonight. I'm not sure if it'll be something I'll do weekly. It depends. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of people here right now. I want to give it another minute. I know I started a minute late. So I just want everyone to know that this is totally something that I'm really interested in doing and helping people with. Because I am an empath myself. Now, what is an empath? Okay, so let's get down to it. When you're empathetic, you really can feel for other people. And most people have empathy for somebody. For example, if they went to a funeral and someone passed away and you felt sad because they felt sad that they lost someone, that would be having empathy for somebody. Being an empathic, in a new age spiritual, more modern sense of the word, empath means that you not only have sympathy or empathy for other people and pick up on, or you can also not just sympathy, but empathy, meaning that you can even feel happy when they're happy. You actually take on some of that person's karma or that person's aura or whatever you want to call that, and you actually take it in and you actually start to feel that in a huge way. So you're not just relating to the person, you're actually becoming part of that person's feelings or taking those person's feelings into your own psyche or your own body, actually. So that's really, hi, is that champagne? Hi, I'm glad that you're here. I hope everyone can hear me okay that's here. I'm going to do some free card pulls, and feel free anytime to text if you want to jump in about being an empath and what that means to you. And so as I grew up, I never knew from a young age how empathic I actually was. Great, thank you. So I love the feedback, thank you. I can sense things, clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, psychic, um, really intuitive, you name it, I'm that. I sometimes feel like I'm one of those people that can actually, work for the government, that could, like, sightsee like long distance, and have those abilities. So as an empath, I always could relate to what was going on around me, not just in my immediate family or my immediate circle, like if I was at school. Sometimes I could be at home and relate to the neighbors at home who are next door in their own house. Or I could relate to what was going on in the next town if there was an issue. Or I could relate to the world if there was something going on that was huge. Like if anyone remembers the AIDS scare in the 80s, oh my God, I took that on so much. Like I actually had all these awful feelings about when people were losing people, like how it affected the whole world, especially the United States, was affecting me, like so much that I had so much depression, and a lot of empaths do. Not that we don't pick up on a lot of good stuff either, we do. We pick up on a lot of happiness and a lot of joy, but a lot of times we're really, really, really like the healers and the light workers, so to say, that want to change the world. So when we're empathic that way, we actually can come into a state of real depression and real anxiety. And it can affect us in a lot of ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, depending on what's going on and how empathic you actually are, to what degree. Some people, like I said, aren't so much. I am 110%, and I know that. I won't deny it. I don't like it. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist. I would like it to be a lot less, and that's why I'd like to have the support circle that I'm having now, to see what other people feel and how they deal with it. Because I just started to recognize this, and it's only been the last few years, that I actually realized that I was an empath so much. And then I started to look back on photos of me in my 20s, even recently, a few photos from the last couple of years, one from this year, and I'm taking on people's looks even, okay? I actually take on their physical appearance as I'm next to them, standing next to them. I've done that. I've morphed and changed. It's really strange. My facial appearance in pictures, honest to God, is so weird. And the other thing is that I actually have been able to pick up on stuff. Like if I was really into somebody and I wanted to know, like, you know what I mean, like their kind of world, but I wasn't consciously wanting to know that. Say you have a big crush on somebody and you're like, oh my God, I wonder like what they're like at home, or this, that, and the other. And then so I actually would pick up on people and their family and start to become that person, and what they were doing for a career or a living. I was actually starting to get into it. I mean, it was crazy, some of the stuff that's happened to me over the years. So I just have boundaries more now than I ever did before. I realize that I do that. And I don't do it consciously. A lot of the times it's subconsciously, it just happens. And so I'm more aware of it now that I can actually let that go and be my own person and set up some type of a boundary now, a clearing of my space, my aura, my mind, even when I have thoughts that aren't. And I'm going, where are these thoughts coming from? Sometimes I know that this isn't me. Why am I feeling this way? Or why am I thinking this? I know it's not coming from me. I used to do that all the time when I was younger, but I didn't realize that I had a choice. I didn't have to think that thought. I didn't have to feel that way. I didn't have to get so into that emotion. I can sit back now whenever that happens and I can say, hey, wait a second. Where's this coming from now? Hey, wait, like there's something going on here. I don't think this is really me. I need to look at this a little deeper, a little closer, or take a step back. And I can do that now, and that helps me so much, to recognize when that's happening now and just know that it's definitely coming from outside. I'll give you a huge example of me being an empath. Recently, I started work in Salem card reading a couple of years ago. Halloween was started October 1st. It was a Sunday on my way into work. My first time in town, first time working for the town of Salem as a reader. I got in my car. I cried all the way to work. I worked 10 to 10, and then I cried all the way back to where I was staying, like hard. And I mean harder than I ever cried in my life, harder than I ever cried, even more than my closest relative who died. And I can tell you, I didn't know why, but I knew it wasn't for me. So by the time I got home, I was like, listen, all right, I cried all the way to work, didn't know why. I was fine the whole time, did all my readings, wonderful, had a great day. Got in the car, started crying again all the way back. So I knew it wasn't from me, and I couldn't figure out what it was coming from. And I knew I was thinking about somebody who was in a band called the Vegas Sludge. So I was like, okay, well, that's really strange because I'm not really upset about that. I mean, I am, but I'm not that upset about it. Like, why am I thinking about that too? And I started pondering this, and then I said, well, I can't figure this out right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my control back. I'm going to put on Shmuel, which is like personal karaoke on your phone. It's an app. I'm going to start singing, because I love to sing. I'm going to put myself in a good mood and dance around and go to bed. So that's what I did, and it worked. And I can tell you the next day when I got up, first thing I did was look at my phone, and there were the Vegas shootings. At the concert that happened a couple of years ago in Vegas, like the biggest mass shooting ever. So I was like, whoa, that's what happened. Oh my God, really? And then a week later, I went to a yoga class, and I could have killed the instructors, and I could have killed anybody that walked through the door. I was so angry that day, but I knew I wasn't mad at them. And I'm going, why am I feeling this? Because I know I'm not mad at them. And then it dawned on me, oh my God, now I'm picking up the anger from all those family members that just lost somebody who went to an innocent concert and were having a great time and died for no reason, got shot and murdered and killed, and now they're angry about it. And I'm picking up on this in a massive way. So that, to me, is an extreme empath, which I can be, but now that I recognize it, I can do a lot more about it. So if anyone else has any comments about being an empath or anything that you do to kind of help yourself to figure that out and to know what to do about it, I'd love to know. And if anyone is interested in a card pull, I'm actually going to pull one for myself because I don't know how many people are actually here. I know there's a couple. I saw Natalia, and I saw, I think it's Champagne. I've seen, yep, Natalia wants a card pull. Okay, so anyone else that's here that wants a card pull, I'm going to pick the decks, and I can tell you the decks again. Magical Mermaids and Dolphins, the Butterfly Oracle cards, the Luminous Spirit, and I didn't see your comments. I'm sorry, Champagne. I just saw that one, though, so you do want a card pull. Okay, great. Past Life Oracle cards. I have Angel Tarot, and I have the Morgan Greer Tarot. So, Natalia, I'm going to go with the Mermaids and Dolphins for you. That was my first deck I ever got, and I love this deck. And actually, I don't have to do anything because I just opened it, and I just felt like the first card I saw was for you on top of the deck. It's just sitting there. And so being intuitive like that, it's just meant for you. So this is your card, Natalia, and it is Waves of Prosperity. I'm going to show it to you. So hopefully you can see it a little clearer with the light. If not, I'll put the, yeah, I might have to turn the lights up a little bit. I think it's too dark still. Oh, there it is. Can you see it okay? It says Waves of Prosperity, and it's a mermaid, and it's on a dolphin. I'm going to put the lights up because I think it's just a little too dark in here still. Hang on one second. Okay, so that should be better, Natalia. There we go. So Waves of Prosperity, and it says new abundance and exciting opportunities wash over you now. So I feel like there's something new coming up for you, Natalia. It may be a new job, and I know you're moving, so it's definitely a new move. But I feel like it may be a new career, something to do with money. So you may be making some money soon, getting a job, maybe a couple of hours a week somewhere. This is definitely abundance. So you have a lot of good opportunities coming with school. I know you're in school. So this is just a little confirmation of that. So don't be nervous, okay? Because you're going to do well in the future, Natalia. And then, okay, so I'm going to do one for Champagne now, too. And so that one was Magical Mermaids and Dolphins. Oops. That was Natalia's card. And so, all right, this is the table again in case anyone's interested. Believe, blessings. And my little apple, I just came from puja. My horse there, and some candles. I have uplifting bergamot candle going, and that's really a nice one. And I also have a Yankee Candle cinnamon, um, just so you know. So to give us some little blessings, and my little angel there. You can see my little angel right there. So this one is, I'm sorry, I hope I'm saying this right. It's champagne because I can't see your comments right now. I don't know why I can't see them. I, I usually am able to. Maybe I didn't hit live chat. There we go. Now I can see it. Okay. Got it. Okay, so yes, I'm going to, um, champagne, things like the drink. I'm going to actually give you two, because I feel like I have a butterfly oracle deck. I have the luminous spirit, the past life, the Doreen Virtue Angel Tarot, but I feel like this one is meant for you, and I don't have the box. This is Norgan Greer Tarot. It's the one I was trained on. So I'm definitely going to pick one of these for you, and then I feel like this one's definitely for you. This is the bottom card. That's two. Whoop. Sorry, there's two coming out of this deck. I was only going to pull two, one from each deck, but you're actually going to get three cards, Champagne. So there's two from this deck, and then there's a wish card, which is Luminous Spirit, and then you make a wish on this one for the moon. This one's really cool. So, Natalia, if you want to make a wish on this deck, I'll pull another one for you too after. So, okay, so this, I don't even have to go anywhere. All right, so Champagne, I hope this resonates with you too. You may be an empath. I don't know if you know anything about the twin flame journey, or if you're in a relationship right now, but it feels like something's changing with a relationship, a romantic relationship with you. The Wheel of Fortune's coming, and someone that was upset and depressed about something is going to change that, and things are really looking up for you. So the Wheel of Fortune card hasn't changed as far as you two being together and being lovers, but somebody is definitely cutting out something that was worrying them that maybe they didn't tell you about that was affecting your relationship. Your relationship is perfect. Perfect. They worked on themselves, and now it's going to be even better. That's what I'm getting for you. And then Natalia, I'm going to pull one for you. Just hang on. I'm going to give you a wish card too, Natalia, just because it's fun to make a wish. So hang on one second. I had this one come up, but I'm going to give you two, Natalia. So, and I just want to redo it. Okay, there we go. Four of Swords for you, Natalia, and the Five of Pentacles is upside down, and the Four of Swords is upside down. So somebody has a lot of work to do before they can actually give you your oyster, your pearl, or your ring if you're getting married in the future. I know you're engaged. They have a lot of work to do on both ends. So you and the other person have a lot of work to do before that can happen. And I feel like the biggest thing for that is money. It's having a place to live and being able to actually have the money to take care of yourselves. So when you start work and you get a few extra dollars, save those dollars. Don't be spending them too much, okay? And same thing with your boyfriend, Natalia. You both have to save money in order for that to happen, okay, honey? And that's your wish card, and I feel like that will happen. You're going to have to work at it a little bit, but it will. And Champagne, I hope that resonated with you as well, your cards that I pulled for you, and if you have anything to say about that. And as far as being an empath, I really was hoping to have a lot more people on here to discuss being an empath, and I don't know if either one of you have any experience with that. I know Natalia knows me, so she knows how I am. So, yeah, I can't see them. I'm going to try again. I had to click live chat. There we go, Champagne. Sorry about that. Okay. So, oh my God, I have Morgan Greer deck, and I knew you were going to pull one from the deck. That's crazy how quick someone can link. Whoop, there it goes again. It keeps fading. Can link up with me and be on point. Yes, I'm commenting, don't you think? All right, yes. You're an empath as well. Oh my God. Okay. I'm having trouble with the live chat. I don't know why. I can see it now. So, I'm definitely here. And I'm so glad that that resonated for you. And being an empath, Champagne, like what do you want to work on, or what do you feel is like your downfall, or anything that's your strength, anything that you can tell us about, overcoming, some of the um, negative parts of, or not so positive parts of being an empath? Anything that you want to comment on? Self-love, yeah, I get that too a lot because you always pick up, I feel, as an empath on people around you who might not be as awake. I don't know if you're awakened. I had a Kundalini awakening in 2012, and oh my God, didn't realize even what happened to me, and I was picking up on everything, and that was huge because I was starting to just love myself, but I kept feeling everybody else around me who didn't, which was really hard. So I was picking up on their not loving themselves. So self-love and trusting people and my ego, yes, definitely. And I don't know if you wanted to comment about your relationship or not, but sometimes we even pick up on those people that are closest to us the most, which is really difficult when someone's in your space 24/7. So if you have a boyfriend, married, living with someone, and you're with them all the time. I know, Natalia, you have a boyfriend. Um, you're with a lot. I'm married. I have a husband. I'm with a lot. Like, that's really difficult sometimes to be around the same person 24/7, because you start to feel, so attached to that person, and you love that person, you care about that person, and then you start to become that person, which sometimes isn't the best for us. Definitely not for me. I don't know about anybody else. When you start to pick up too much from them and start to actually become their feelings and their obsessions and their anxieties and their fears, and you don't pick up on the good stuff sometimes as much. I mean, you can, and that's great, and that's when our relationships really work, is when we're in sync together and really happy and in tune with what makes the other person happy. But a lot of times, being an empath, we usually go for the other side and pick up on the less and try to fix everything, because empaths also like to be healers. I know myself, I'm a healer and a spiritual counselor and a kind of like personal guru to a lot of my friends or acquaintances without even getting paid. And I've taken on so much more than I needed to just to help them. And I'm glad, I'm happy where they are. Don't get me wrong. I just realized that I did a lot of work for them when I didn't need to do so much and take on so much of myself. You had a big time breakup, and right now I'm talking to someone, another Gemini, but taking things slow, and all I have dated is Gemini almost, and Libras and a Leo sun. Oh, wow. All right, so that wheel, it feels like it's that same person right now that you're with right now. Um, it feels like the wheel was upside down and you were with somebody, so that person, it didn't change, it stayed the same. This is the person that you're with now, then, for that reading. It's not a different person. It's the one that you're with now, and because it says the lover, so it's definitely whoever you're with now, and they're working on something they need to cut out. That they will cut it out, and they might not be telling you they're working on an issue. It's their issue. So as an empath, let them work it out. Don't take it on. But I feel like that's going to happen, and you will be better off for it as a couple. So definitely, if they're going through a hard time about anything, take a step back, because they might not be telling you, but you can kind of read their feelings. You can read your own feelings when you're around them. So take that champagne for what it is and just step back and let them work it out. Yeah, me too. I'm so tired of lessons. I'm a twin flame, and that's even harder. The lessons I've been through are off the wall crazy. Like, never thought I would go through the crap I've been through in my life in the last few years, especially. Biggest crap in the last few years since I met him. It's like, wow, what a journey. So my sign is Pisces, and Pisces are empathic anyway. We're one of the most empathic signs in the whole zodiac. Um, so, and we go both ways. We can be the life of the party too. And so I'm definitely that, but I definitely feel like I soak up people's energy, and sometimes not on purpose. I don't mean to be an energy vampire. If I ever have, I apologize. Didn't know I was even doing it. I didn't feel I was doing that. I felt like I was just so happy to be around people that made me feel uplifted, and I tried to be those people. I tried to come out of my shell and be like, all right, I don't need to be so down on myself. I don't need to be so unconfident and have low self-esteem. I just want to admire these people and like do what they're doing and feel the way they feel and look the way they look. And so maybe I stole a little bit, but didn't do it on purpose, honestly. Um, just my natural empathic ways. um, Natalia, you're still here? Or did you go to bed, honey? You have a Pisces North Node. See, I don't know how to do the zodiac as much as I do readings, I do mediumship, and a lot of the times, hi, I hope you got your reading okay. I do mediumship and I do angel tarot, past life. I'm working on future life and hopefully a future life deck, but I've never gotten really into the zodiac more than just like kind of reading the signs a little bit, not too in depth. And like with the cards, once in a while I pick up on that with the tarot. But sometimes it's a lot harder to do what I'm doing because I feel so much. And sometimes I don't want to feel that, and other times I do. And so it's hard when you're like, all right, Spirit, now, now, now. And Spirit's like, oh, I'll give it to you when I'm ready. So it's definitely an issue sometimes to kind of separate you being a person in a fleshy body and being, so connected to Spirit at the same time on Earth. And so that's where a lot of the time it gets a little blurry too when you're an empath. Sometimes I pick up on more than just the person who's with me. I can pick up on their dead relatives too, which isn't even easy. That's even a double whammy, a double empathic whammy. Do you use crystals? Yeah, sometimes I do use crystals. Um, and I use a salt. A lot of times when I'm doing my readings, I spray um, Florida water and holy water. I use blessed salt and stuff like that to try to keep the energy to myself a little bit, a little bit of a boundary anyway, protection from anything negative getting in. Um, Not that there's a whole lot out there, but there can be, especially if you give it energy. That's definitely true. I've done that. I made that mistake. Pretty big. I gave it quite a bit, and it didn't work for me. So this year, my intention is to not be so focused on the negative and more on the positive of being an empath and helping people and going that route. And also when I'm doing my readings, concentrating on the good that I'm doing instead of any negative that might have happened in the past. Even with a twin flame journey, same thing. Being an empath and picking up on my twin and hearing him, feeling him, and not just him, but people he's living with, people around him, his relationship with his, oh my God, it's like craziness. Like so much that I cut that out for a while because I just couldn't do it anymore. I had to step back and be like, enough is enough. And I almost felt like I cut him out spiritually in some ways, or cut down a lot on that spiritually because he's just not here. And it's like, okay, well, if you're not ready to see me face to face, then I'm not going to give you my spiritual energy anymore to that degree, to the nth degree, which I really like sometimes too, but it gets to be too draining. You're going to be a spiritual chaser. Oh my gosh, so cute. So Champagne, I'd love to know, like, what do you do? Um, how do I connect to the mediumship part? I usually start with a prayer. I'll say the Our Father with the person. I call in my angels and guides and their angels and guides before I start, and I tell them the way I work is I don't like to call on anybody specific. I don't believe that you should disturb the other side. You should respect the other side. And so I learned that the hard way too, because not everyone's respectful when they're in a cemetery or doing a reading, and some of those people on the other side are not haven't even quite passed over all the way yet, can be a little, you know, um, anxious and upset and not maybe the nicest person on earth, and they're still carrying that energy. So what now I do is I'll say, whoever wants to come in, um, if you're open and willing to receive the message that they have for you, and they're open and willing to receive um, you in this reading and come in for you and open up for you and let their spirit flow to you and give you this message, then that's what'll happen. And so whoever comes in will come in, and whatever messages you're meant to get and however much of that message you can handle or they want to give will happen. And a lot of times, 99% of the times my readings, someone comes through. And I use cards probably 90% of the time to do readings, but I don't need to. Um, Once I connect, I connect. So it's just mainly a prayer and just trust. I've always done it. It just happens. And holding hands in person is definitely a lot better. But I've done some free ones over the internet and connected with people. I actually heard voices outside my head, inside my head, but most of the time it's a feeling in my heart. And so being an empath, sometimes I've actually cried during a mediumship reading for someone. If that person passed away, say like in it was a tragedy, like they committed suicide and they were sad, like I will start crying, like that kind of thing. So I definitely can be empathic when it comes to spirit as well. Good night, honey. You read tarot and use crystals and study a little astrology? Awesome. Well, I had a radio show not long ago, but I had to give it up. I couldn't keep up the rent, and I did a few other things too. But just working in Salem the last couple of years. This past year, I worked for the Hawthorne Hotel for the Witches Ball and stuff like that, and it was fun. Um, but there was definitely a lot of energy there. That was amazing and great. I loved it. It was so high energy, but I came home drained, both when I worked for the whole month and when I just went for one night. So this year, we'll see what happens. I definitely have to protect a little bit better because the energy's there like 10 times more probably, or even 50 times more maybe than other places, especially around Halloween. Um, so that's definitely a challenge. And I thank you both for being here, and I might do this again. And hopefully, anybody that heard this or who sees this later on will contact me if they have any questions about being empathic or what that means. If you go on my Facebook pages, you have to really go through, but I can tell you the 3 pictures that I actually took on physical looks. Um, I'm sorry, hang on one second, honey. I didn't see your chat right there. I seem to have got readings in regards to mediumship, and I seem to not be able to feel they resonate too much. I experience some accurate readings, and I would rather connect. Oh, yeah, I know, right? I don't trust a lot of people. I trust myself when it comes to readings, and I don't give my own readings a lot to me either, because um, I don't believe in having to know everything, but I definitely don't trust a whole lot of people. I've been taken for a ride so many times, but I know I'm the real deal when people say, oh my God, like, you knew that, or oh my God, that's so right on, like, how did you? And I'll be like, I don't know, that's just spirit. It's not me. That's what I say. It's not me, it's spirit, and whatever happens happens, and a lot of times it's 100% accurate. So anyways, I'm gonna just give you a little bit more about how I take on the physical aspects. One was when I worked for a group home, and I have a picture of me as a worker with a young lady, and we almost have the same colors on that day. Our hair looks a little similar. I kind of take on her smile, which was beautiful. She was mentally handicapped, gorgeous woman. And then I also have taken on recently my pet therapist. I took my picture, it's on recently. I had a degree. I got certified in pet therapy with my Japanese chin I set, my youngest. The lady who was a co-trainer for my pet therapy, I took my picture with her, and I definitely took on her features. You can see it in my face and hair. And then there was another one, I'm trying to remember. Oh, yes, Rafa Yoga, Christine Rafa from Rafa Yoga in Cranston. I actually went to have some work done with her one day. She did an amazing job on my body and massage therapy and all this cranial sacral therapy. I came home, I took a picture of myself, and boy, do I look like Christine Rafa. I was like, oh my God, I just morphed into Christine. So, yeah, sometimes it happens like that, but it's definitely a challenge for me my whole life, and I'm still working on it. And hopefully it's going to be less and less. But I do use it a lot for my readings and mediumship too. So, I mean, it's a curse and a blessing all in one. So I'd rather consider it more of a blessing, helping people, not having to take on their energy so much. Like when I do help someone power coaching, and I've helped a girl who's very depressed and not living in a great situation. It was really messy, like a tiny little place, and she wasn't feeling good, and I ended up taking a lot of that energy into my own home. I had a hard time getting out of bed. I had a hard time cleaning for a long time and keeping up with my energy. I mean, when I was with her and I was sharing energy, it was great, but then when she left and she was all healed and I'm like back to me, I started to realize that, oh my gosh, now I'm stuck with all her shit, right? So now I got to work through that because now I got to release it. I took on a little bit too much and held on to it, so that happened too. But yeah, it's definitely a work in progress, and I'm glad that you both showed up. And I thank you very much. And if you have any time and you'd like to exchange a reading, That would be great too, Champagne. So I'm Pisces, and I don't know much about astrology and that. So if you get like attuned more into that, I'm Reiki master and IET and NLP. I do a lot of different things. I'm yoga instructor. Right yoga nidra actually certified. Um, I do a lot of different things, but yoga definitely helped me too to open my third eye. But if you ever want to exchange a reading, it's Michelle Blanding on Facebook Messenger, um, and we could do a mini exchange. And usually mediumship comes up. I won't guarantee it, but 99% of the time on a reading it does. I don't know about a mini reading. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But definitely we'll um, chat and exchange if you'd like. So thank you so much for being here tonight, and God bless you both. Blessings on our journeys, and hopefully we're not too empathic to the point where it is affecting us in any negative way at all. So I just want to put that out there, that boundary is necessary, although you need to stay open. And when you do that from a loving place in your heart, with your whole heart and your whole mind, your whole being, your whole soul, into helping someone and being open like that, um, and loving yourself as much as possible at the same time, and realizing that you have this gift, it's a lot easier to step back and be easy on yourself and comfortable with yourself when sometimes you might take on a little bit too much, or you're a little bit too open. But being more open than not, I feel, is more protection. The more love you can put into a situation, the more it seems the angels and guides are around you and will protect you. And if you're going through something and picked up from somebody something that you needed to pick up, maybe you need to go through that too, because everything happens for a reason, I feel like, and you always can learn from that. So good night and God bless you both. And hit me up for that reading, Champagne. And if anyone ever wants a reading from me, I'm Michelle Blanding on Facebook, Magical Yoga Arts on Facebook. I have free and paid readings, Michelle Blanding on Facebook, and free and paid readings in Sample Yoga Nidra. Um, Anybody that wants one, just let me know. I'm very inexpensive. I don't believe in charging a lot because I've been taken so many times in the past that I just don't do that. I don't feel like you need to charge in order to be good. So it's 35 for a half hour, 40 minutes. It's 45 for a past life or a future life, though. Those are the more expensive ones, a little bit extra. But a regular general reading is Angel Mediumship Tarot, $35. And a lot of times I run specials. In person is better. I can do it over the phone, though, or I can do it by Messenger or Facebook or Instagram, WhatsApp, anything, pretty much Zoom, whatever you want. Just let me know. I have all the apps. So it's Michelle Blanding, 401-573-4360 is my cell if you need to call me for any reason. Please don't blow up my phone. I appreciate it. And God bless. Good night.